Also,
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, staff, fellow councillors. I would like to welcome you to the committee of the whole meeting on Tuesday, October 8, 2024 at 5 p.m. to be held and transmitted electronically via council chambers located at 39 South Shore Road, Lake Township, BC. I would like to acknowledge our gathering on the ancestral unceded territory of the Sabatis people. To any introduction of late items. We have relation. So. Did everybody review business public relations? I have a motion for the approval of the agenda. Councillor Frisbee, second, Councillor Bonacca, all in favor? Sorry. Public input, and this is for anything only on the agenda. Minutes of the committee of the whole September 10th was ratified at our regular council meeting, so it's just for information. Business arising. Live streaming of the ABC communities. That was my.
yeah, well, the issue is council has the liberty to live stream their meetings and their committees. It's really not mandatory. It's up to, because of COVID, that was basically introduced by the province as a means to deal with the public. So when you're talking about other committees, it's really their wish. It's not something that can be mandated, as I see it. So we'll leave it at that.
Could I give a recommendation or a suggestion? Could we not record the ABC meetings to be only available for council members and the ABC? And it's more for me, it's like I asked for copies of it, all the ABC minutes for 2024. And there's one or two motions only in each of the months. And to me, I want kind of the indicators of an discussion of the community meetings, and if I can attend it. At least we would have it on video to that we could watch. So first,
I believe we asked, so we had a motion approved saying we'd like to live stream the meetings, but we wanted staff to get back to us and see if there's any policies in place as to whether we can or cannot live stream it. So is that the policy that you've found, is that, or is there no policies in place?
No policy. No, same as with council. Council can live
So
stream.
there's nothing restricting us from live streaming these meetings. So there's the motion that's already being passed, is that these meetings be live streamed. I guess from my point of view, like I'm looking at a new business item, the agency is recommending the town not support recommendations to contain the cultural regional workforce strategy in its entirety. And I click on that and there's no background as to why. So my message to staff and agencies is we want to hear your voice. But at the moment there's a motion in place to stream those meetings. I realise that they're not elected, they are appointed, and I also realise it's coming to a 2-year term, so I really hope the agency do want their voices heard by everybody. But if you are motioning that we make an amendment to the motion that's already passed.
Can we make that amendment to a motion as passed 2 months ago?
And what is the amendment?
It would be just to record the ABC committee meetings to be available for council members and the APC commission.
Verbally, you mean, or
Video, like a recording.
Can I just add to that? I guess we would record them and it would be listed as an unlisted video on YouTube that the council would access. The council would have access to. So an unlisted video on YouTube that we can watch. And it wouldn't have to be live streamed, right? It would just be a recording. So that's the motion, no, we'll see, I'll see.
Discussion? All question? All the question? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Next item is public notification of zoning bylaw amendments through alternate means. I believe that's Councilor Wolfacott.
Yes, once I increased it, a few times when we've had publicly had notifications. And I know that we only have to send notification if it's affected more than 10 property owners, but at the last one, we found that there were people that weren't notified. And I think relying on two issues in the newspaper is not sufficient when you're, impacting somebody's livelihood in their property. So I think we have to go above and beyond what we only have to do and do better. And I don't know what we can do, but I wanted it brought up so that we can have discussion as to what means. I remember before it's saying that we go into the other municipalities, you'll see his line in the front yard saying this property has a rezoning application. And these people can see it. Now, maybe we can't do it here in Lake Halverton, but I'm really putting it out to the table to come up with some ideas and what other municipalities do. I noticed that even on the town website, so people can go on to the town website, which we know most people don't, but it wasn't even on the Facebook page. And I know that I spoke one time too, when we were talking about remodeling the town hall. We still have the bulletin board up front, but I asked why we couldn't have some sort of electronic TV screen that scroll and would tell people our public meetings, about rezoning, microhazard, all of these important things that people coming out of the post office, which is the main source in Lake Couch and across the street and it's and be able to tell exactly what's going on. So just conversation, Councilor Rizzi.
Well, I can only do the first little community that's being raised, so maybe we just direct staff to do a lot of that. Municipalities their size of doing, because I feel the same, I think we thought that it's a little bit with the last public hearing, so. If we can look into the similar size communities like Ohio Lakes, something like that to see what they're doing. I don't really want to see us do the minimum, either. I want to see us reach out a bit more, so. If we get just direct staff to look into this issue further, just with the recommendation that don't get the minimum deal, but more.
Just really, Joseph, a registered letter for something as important to under property, with a registered letter, because then you have to sign out the post office receiving. And I don't need every notice or every public meeting, but for something that's specific and new to this rental only. I'm just throwing it out there as just part of the conversation. I don't know what the cost would be, but I just wondered having a registered letter, you have to sign.
we would send registered letters on other issues, and they come back unopened because people think there must be something that these guys are after. So I'm not sure if that is the best method, but then we will listen to you and see, come up with something that makes sense. If that's the method we have to use, we'll do it.
So you'll bring something, a report back to you next, in the committee, or December.
Committee.
Okay.
Then say it could be that they don't get the registered letter sent back because they're absentee owners. Sorry.
Next item on the agenda is general delegations, no correspondence, so reports, the director of finance, financial report for the period ending September 30th, 2024.
Where are we at?
The financial report.
Ronnie's report.
Oh, this one. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say. Other than one property tax, I don't know if you've got a report here on tax sale. And we just one property, so it's just, otherwise, not a lot to report on.
There is no recommendation of increases to our
To
water
the
sewer
rates.
rates.
Yeah.
So,
That will come to council, but we can
Okay.
look at that and decide if that those rates are reasonable or not. And give us some guidance on that.
so this will come back for budget,
Through, but
but
I'm just trying to recollect, did we not at one time say that we wanted to have the flex center completely separate from Lakeview Park for income and revenue and expenditures?
they are separate.
They are when you have to go through it and go to figure them all out.
No,
But
that's
I
not,
meant like we're still, when I read the reports, we're still taking profits made at Lakeview Park and we use all your front to the flat. Where my way of thinking is the revenue and the expenses that are collected are one column and Lakeview Park over here.
they
When
are,
you get down to the very, very end of the report, it basically is taking from Peter to offset Paul.
yeah, well, there's a total at the end which says one offsets the other.
But why are they, when they do two different entities, and two different revenue?
or maybe you could just go back to when it was directed out.
Well, it was quite a while back, and when Lakeview was given to Fleck to manage, so that's why that happened that way. Because Lakeview used to be managed by Paul Phillips.
That's a first.
I think some of it has to do with Mr. Smith manages both properties, so there's an admin charge that goes between the two.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've also asked that capital expenditure be allocated to the clerk as well, because we don't get a clear view of exactly how much that costs costing. So if you do if you look at these finances at the moment, the clerk is will always I'm on board, yeah, it is frustrating, it's not full fleet, but I can see why the admin charges are there. So just to go back to the increases on water and sewer, at the bottom here, it said the council motion approving the proposed recommendation from council to proceed with the preparation of the bylaw. So there's something that we have to pass here right now.
But just direction would be just as fine. That we can proceed with this project.
Why would the rest be happy with an increase? Yes.
And I second
And sorry, the motion is to approve the increases of 4% per year for water and sewer rates, 25, 26, and 27. And rate increases of 3.6 to 5% for waste, organics, recycling, for 25 and 26.
discussion.
The discussion is I'm a little uncomfortable us passing rate increases of 3.6 to 5%. I think it should be specific.
Yeah, the reason for that is there are different rates for different groups. There's commercial rates, residential rates, so that's why some rates are 3 plus, and the others are 5%. That's it.
Does the director of finance need to know that the 2025 rate increase would be 3.6% and in 2026, the increase would be 5%?
No, there are varying rates for different categories. That's it.
It's not clear. the way
Yeah.
It's written, so it leaves people to think, well, it could be 3.6.
Well, it'll be clearer with the bylaws.
It'll be okay.
Call question? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. I think, just two questions on the finances, So the sidewalks, we didn't do the sidewalks in 2024, so will that money be carried over to 2025? If you wanted it to be, or is it going to?
Those are the subjects.
Okay. And it's nice to see the revenue from standing up. Nice to see that, and. We didn't add on the agenda the number and annex, did we add, is that on the agenda?
Yeah, about the parking lot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. So. Next item is the Lake Hutchin Building Inspection Report for September 20th. Any questions?
Yeah.
Our next item is the Lake Hutchin Fire Department Incident Report for September 20th.
I just noted that we passed the amount for 2,763,966.
Seconder. Monaco, any discussion? All question, all in favor? Opposed, carried. Our next item is strategic plan.
we decided, I mean, to give it a different look. Because we've looked at other strategic plans and they're a lot more appealing to look at and to read. So we thought we'd make a start on that process, and so we've made an attempt to make some changes here to reflect that. But there will be more meat.
I just want to say I really appreciated this new format and easy to read, easy just to go to know where to go and just the things. So thank you for the work on that. Any questions to staff? Okay. Our next one is our bylaw report, it's third quarter. Again, I just want to say, I like the format of this, it's, yeah.
The only thing is clear, it's just that it's nice to actually see. Yes, we get reports from the fire department, we get reports from everybody, and this one has been a long time coming, so I actually enjoyed looking through it.
Pastor Christie?
Was it not a motion for that bylaw officer to attend the meeting for to report in person?
I think what Councilor Austin wanted was just a report from the bylaw officer, just that report.
Yeah, I know asking for a union authority to be with the council is one.
So next item is the parking lot for municipal.
So we began work on the parking lot actually a few months ago. When we talked to the architects early spring, said we've got to get it engineered. There was, studies that were done on that. So we retained Harold Engineering to undertake the review of the parking lot because of the condition. But it's underneath with the water, sewer, that, storm water. So in the meantime, they've had discussions with public works, met with the superintendent, and in fact, I asked them last week, what's the latest, because we haven't heard that from these guys. They've taken a slow approach to this one. So guess what? Today they sent me drawings and a plan, just a draft plan. So I have to discuss it with the staff to see exactly. They're looking at 15 parking spaces there.
Was there a timeline of when you want to start?
That's a good point. But right now, the timeline is looking at like February.
Yeah. That's what this is.
Is Public Works gonna be completing the work?
No, it'll be,
It'll be contracted out separately out the engineering, but wouldn't the Public Works be able to complete the?
no, because there's paving and there's engineering stuff, we need. Public works will be,
Because they have done Public Works before, working with done paving as well.
yeah, if they're patching them up, they're doing something separate. But it's something I can be able to see, and you know, and find out with that, there was more work that needs to be done.
So just a question, so you're looking at architect and engineering.
And actually, a landscape architect. Because we want the parking lot, not the regular parking lot, something like what the arena's got. Laid out with the greenery and stuff.
Next item, parks and recreation and culture, nothing, public works and environmental services. A working group on sanitary sewer upgrades, so this was, my addition to the agenda is, the Cowichan Watershed Board, the Cowichan Lake River Stewardship Society, the Cowichan River Roundtable, Cowichan Tribes. We're all talking at, the watershed meetings, and we want to look further, they want to look further into an updated system. And so what I'm asking for, if we can form a working group of 1 or 2 council members, and staff to meet with different, people from different organizations and whatnot, and put our heads together and see if there's funding and grants out there to possibly, do an upgrade to our sewers. Sewer lagoon, that's not the pond, it would actually be a building, it's almost like I know. So that's all I'm asking for.
I know this is brought up by Superintendent of Public Works, that they were going to look into it, but the price would have been uneconomical. But are we still looking into grants and things like that to see if we can go a different route? Because I thought there was a company that wanted to work with us.
Yeah.
So is Public Works and staff still working with that?
And we were not successful with the last four outfit. We're not going to do that.
Is that for
the sewer,
for grants or whatever?
yes,
So the business that the superintendent was talking about, has that been discussed any further? There's a certain business that wanted to work with us.
The fellow's name is Ted Ashley
oh, yeah.
from Vancouver, and he actually will be coming over to Duncan on October 21st for the couch launching for speaker series at VIU. It's Monday, and what I'm hoping is that we could have a meeting with him that day. And, or at least with staff and him and mayor, or the acting mayor, and start the conversation of if there's needs out there that we could get the funding. And we can look at what the yearly maintenance cost is, if there's money out there. And, you know, there's a push for this, because having a new weir and having a new sewer lagoon, how the Washington Board staff feels, it goes hand in hand. But we need to have the discussion before we find out what's available, and this is a heritage river, and we need to really press on that. There's not many in Canada, and we've got one of those beautiful ones, so. Yes.
So there is some staff to set up a meeting with this, so what's the name again?
We've actually, we've met with them.
Can we set up another meeting that will back in there? We will, you got it? Yeah. Is that good? You good with the direction or the motion? Direction.
And the next one was school suite, still having, this is where I'm wrong, so I'm not sure what
I think it's just for referencing public works manager to install the sign. I think that's what this is.
Okay. Next one, fair resistant garbage cans at the duck pond, Gate Start, and transition point hatch rail. I think we need to forward this to budget discussion for 2025 and make a decision, get it in our budget and get it ordered for next year. That's Councilor Frisbee.
I thought the beer resistant garbage cans, like all of these two garbage cans were already in the budget for this year.
So I think I have to run that by the superintendent. I don't think the funds are there, but he's doing it as funds, as monies that are available, obviously. Sidewalk funds could be used for that.
Because I did notice that some garbage cans have been fitted with beer resistant. It's just the lid that they're changing, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's not the whole. Well, I guess some places will need.
some need it.
completely ones, yeah.
New business. The APC Commission recommendation that the town not support the recommendation contained in the Fellowship Region Workforce Strategy in its entirety. So is James going to be speaking on that?
Yeah, indeed.
Did go back now several months. So I can only go back from my memory. And my understanding on the rationale for their lack of support isn't because they don't care about home housing. It's primarily because, from my understanding, is there's a concern that this is duplicative. This is double extra work, and an initiative that's over the top of all the other affordable housing initiatives that are happening locally, regionally, and nationally. They're concerned that it would require more taxes, more staff people to accomplish something that from their perspective is not going to make any appreciable difference in the town of Lake County. So, yeah, so it's basically two reasons. One is it's over and above what's already being done. Because remember, we're pulling out workforce as a special category of those need housing. So it's not just affordable, but now it's affordable for workers, that's a very broad category who they are. So from their perspective, it was not a compelling reason to support this. That's my understanding of their primary rationale. And then, of course, more staff, more taxes.
And something I got over that. Now, I just want to say also that I had to go into the minutes of the APC meeting and I sent that to all council because I was looking for a report. And we got the agenda on Friday and like the worst report. So just when I was looking at the minutes of the APC, then I saw it there, so I forwarded a separate email. But how I found this is we're not really a community that has got a lot of big construction going on, like the hospital, like this and that, apartment buildings and all that. So the need of having availability for construction workers for, rentals and whatnot. North Carolina 100%, but I don't go to tell my gosh, I do it really. At this time.
Just a clarification, is this something we have to opt into, or is this taking anything with the, like, what is it like? Is it just when it comes to something else or what?
Yeah, it's just, okay, let's see if I get this right. It is the CDRD thing. And we, as a town, are paying for the staff that are driving this proposal. So it's the economic development group. Now that's an interesting flavor here. It's the economic development group that hired the consultant team. And I participated in some of the meetings, and by the way, just so you know, one of the recommendations that came out of this group, which was supported by the advisory planning commission, it's a separate item, but it did come out of the same study on workforce housing. It's a short-term rental. So on that score, they were fully on board, the town opting in to restrict, to opt into the provincial standards for short-term rental. So I do want to point that out, so on that level, they were fully on board on that particular element of that study. I just want to point that out. But the other recommendation when it came to staff and potentially more taxes, because now you're increasing the funding, the program increases, plus there's another issue. And that is, I believe, it's also tied to, I don't want to get this mixed up with other things going on, but housing authority versus study, so the workforce housing initiative is also tied to a potential housing authority, which a study would be undertaken to do that. That's my understanding, so. Yeah, so circling back down to the discussion, except for the short-term rental, they didn't see the need for that, but they certainly didn't see a need for hiring, and at one point. The recognition was to hire a short-term rental coordinator to be visitor. It is my understanding that that's been ditched, that's no longer on the table. So. They seem to see that positive. So.
Any questions for James?
Just further clarification, so this is, basically this is just a rule that we may follow. It's not something we've opted into or anything like that. I realise that we are paying some of the.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct, sorry, circling back on the question, yes. But they're asking because they came to us, they would like support from the local governments. That's what they're looking for, they ideally, they like, my opinion, they probably would like to see some kind of council support for this initiative. To further strengthen their position in asking for potential budget, increase, right? Because their proposal is very specific on the thing. Right.
So is there a recommendation or it's just,
Yeah, well, basically, just for your information, they're coming to the November committee of the whole. For your support, there may be more wait to that to before you make a decision.
Pastor Christine?
No.
Thank you, James. Our next item is the APC Commission recommendation for bicycle paths and appropriate locations.
Was FEMA to deal with that. West Coast.
I think you've got three to run. You got another one after this.
I just thought it would stay here. Okay. It's cheap. Oh, so it's good here. Bicycle racks, so yes, it did come up, but I have not done analysis of that, although I have recommended bicycle rack applications. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, we might even have, one time we have even had on paper plan. And we certainly have addressed it, but yes, so I don't know what more to say other than it's important. I can acknowledge it's important, but I have not done any further work on it other than we have done it, we actually had at one time, we had a map of the street, which if I'm not mistaken, certainly is part of, and there's some specific things that was identified in the active transportation plan, which we undertook a few years ago, and pieces of that are in the OCD. So maybe we gotta take a look and we'll see what it says there, because there might be something there, so.
Pastor Christie?
So if there's nothing to report, like why is this on the team? You know. It's not a new business.
Yeah, I think it was from council direction, I believe, right? Yeah.
It was on consideration of staff location for the ABC local location.
Yeah.
So that hasn't happened.
No,
So, what do you do?
So this will go to your, APC, a future APC meeting, and then you'll bring recommendation back to.
we could.
One way around, yes.
I'm looking forward to
That's
that.
okay, good.
Okay, thank you. So our next one is the APC Commission recommendation for dates for accessibility term.
I don't think they're aware of that, the APC, because council is looking at doing a joint tour with
Yes.
the APC, and so you may want to come up with when that happens.
So the direction we gave was ask the ABC when they can do
Uh,
it. So I don't know why he's doing. It's like it's all.
So let's refer this back to the next APC meeting for say a couple days and then. We'll have to work on later. Thank you, James.
See that.
So our next one is request for OTAC 2025 delegation, reuse of town road.
We've got a drawing there back. Basically, looking for council permission to use that for their purposes.
The beauty color added into this logo, it's just how it is.
They've created it, the fundraising and the parents group with the students, and then they'll put it on t-shirts and so forth with it. But because it's using the town logo, Joseph says. It's town.
So can I have a motion? So those are questions whether the town has to get permission to do the logo. Do we have permission from the county to have their meeting followed?
Yes.
So what's the wish of council? Okay, would you like to make one?
You're gonna read that. I have a motion to give approval to the Otaki group to use the Tanlake Calton logo on the logo that's presented to us tonight.
Second. So Monahan, any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, carried. No, there's the motion. Oh, on agenda, sorry. Public relations, sir. I figured out what it was, so when I said, probably, notification, it was reminding me about the notification board. Notification board. And maybe we can bring that forward to the budget discussion.
Yeah, I just forgot to add, the issue of Councilor Austin with being given permission to be absent.
I have a motion. For Councilor Boston. Discussion, all in favor, carried. So for the question period, limited to items on the agenda for off-site please home 250-749-3239 for in-person attendees, maximum 3 minutes per speaker. We'll just double.
Okay.
Got the phone now?
There's a person.
Really?
It says check the telephone line.
Really?
No, you're.
Oh, in Canada.
Okay, so we haven't received any calls. So Joseph or any camera?
Yes, section 92 of the community charter requires that before a meeting or part of the meeting is closed to the public, council must take a resolution why the meeting is to be closed. And the basis on which the meeting is to be closed falls under the following sections of the community charter: labor relations or other employee relations, litigation, potential litigations affecting the municipality.
Okay. Motion by Councilor Lampas, seconded by Councilor Ridley. All in favor, carried.
Geez, that was an easy one.